And on your back, begin to notice your breath. And once you've observed a couple soft breaths, start to make your breaths deliberately deeper, fuller, longer inhale, longer exhale. And now coax more and more space into your torso from the inside out. Bend your knees, feet on the mat, heel toe the feet out wide. Bring your arms up overhead and then flop the knees side to side a couple times. Drop your knees to the left. Keep them there for a moment and take 3 full cycles of breath here with the arms softly overhead. At the end of your 3rd exhale, sweep the knees through center and then drop them to the right. And take full, deep, big ol' huge breaths, 3 rounds. With no need to rush or hurry the breath. At the end of your 3rd exhale, bring your knees to point towards the ceiling and then hug your knees in towards your chest. Start gentle, testing the waters of the low back. And now perhaps you can begin to draw the knees in a little bit closer to your chest. And now just draw your left knee in towards your chest and reach your right leg out long. Take a couple more full breaths here. Focus your breath into the rib cage. One more full breath in. Draw your knee in and reach your long leg longer. And then exhale, switch sides. Hug your right knee in and stretch your left leg out long. Couple breaths here. One more breath in. And then exhale, draw both knees into your chest. All right, release the clasp on your knees now and bend your knees at roughly 90-degree angles and bring your knees over your hips. And now place your hands onto your thighs. Could be anywhere on the thigh, lower, mid, upper. And now flex your feet and press your thighs into your hands. Press your hands back into your thighs and full, robust breaths. This is quite a lot of effort, so aim to draw in smooth breaths, but they may get a little bit jagged. Can you continue making the effort to smooth each breath? Take one more full breath in, press thighs into hands, hands into thighs. And then exhale, release your effort. Place the soles of your feet down onto the mat and rest for a beat. Any of you desiring hip flexor and hamstring work, boy, today is your day. Bring your knees back over your hips, and now move your thigh bones a little bit away. So there should be an angle from your hip to your knee, and now bring your hands to your upper thighs, or maybe mid thighs, and with the legs a little bit farther away, press hands into thighs, thighs into hands, take some breaths. Notice if your jaw is tensing, and if it is, soften it. One more full breath in, press, engage. And then exhale, feet to the mat, relax. One more variation on that. So you will probably notice that we are engaging the hip flexors and also very much so also the core. So now bring your knees over your hips and then bring your knees and thighs in a little bit closer, and then hands to your lower thighs, like a little bit above your knee. And then engage hands to thighs, thighs into hands, relax the jaw, soften your gaze, prioritize your breath. Full breath in, press, work. And then exhale, release, feet to the mat. Take a few breaths. And now we're going to do some arm balances. But the good news is that we're going to do them while we're on our backs. So, bring your knees up to our starting position. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees over the hips. We're going to start with a reclined crow pose. So reach your arms up and then flex the hands like you're going to stand on them. And now lift your head, shoulders, upper back, up, off as you split the knees and draw your knees in towards you. So aim your knees like you could just suction them right into your armpits. Stay lifted, reach and breathe. And now lower your upper body, bring the knees together. We're going to do a reclined side crow. So now reach your arms over to the right side, lift your head, your shoulders, upper back, and reach as you squeeze your knees in towards that left armpit. One more breath here. And then exhale, lower down. Change sides. Now reach your arms over to the left. Flex the hands like you're standing on them. Reach, lift the upper body as you use your core to draw the knees in towards the right armpit. Look at us. We're all just nailing side crow right now. And then inhale, reach. Exhale, lower down, rest. And I will tell you that we are tending to our core work at the beginning of class today. So this is going to be it for our core. But we're not done yet. Eagle crunch. So you have options. You could either cross your left thigh over the right thigh and then wrap your left arm, or wrap your right arm rather, under the left arm and come into an eagle shape. If that's not feeling pleasant for your shoulders or for your lower body, then your option is to bring the inner edges of the forearms together so that you are gluing the sides of your pinkies, sides of your hands, forearms together, and then lifting the knees up and sealing the inner legs together. So either like this or get twisty and wrappy. Lift your legs up. Take a breath in here. And then exhale, curl up, bring knees in towards elbows. And inhale, lower back down. Exhale, rise up into your crunch. And inhale, come back down. 2 more times, follow your breath. After your second round, unwrap your arms if they were wound up. We're going to head into a twist now. So if your legs are crossed, then drop your legs over to the right. Similarly, if your legs are side by side, drop them over to your right. So either legs crossed or uncrossed, and then extend your left arm out to the opposite side and take a few full smooth breaths. Maybe even throw yourself a little inner party for being done with your core work for the day. Take a full breath in. And then exhale, bring the knees back to center. If the legs are crossed, uncross them, and then cross them the other way, right over left, or keep the legs side to side, and then wrap the right arm under the left arm if you're choosing the eagle variation, otherwise forearms together. Inhale here, and then exhale, curl up and in, knees to elbows. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, crunch up. Just 2 more times. Oh, I misled you, didn't I? Oh, crap. All right, well, this really will be it. Last one. And then unwind your arms if they are wound and drop the knees to the left, whether they're side by side or crossed over one over the other. Take the right arm out to the opposite side. One more breath in, make it a big one. As you exhale, roll over onto your left side and make your way up. We're going to meet standing on our knees. So if you have a blanket, this would be a nice time to bring it onto your mat. Come onto your knees. Your toes could be tucked or untucked. For some folks, it's quite uncomfortable one way or the other, so choose the one that's comfortable for you. And then bring your hands onto your hips. We're going to do a few, I don't know what you call them, lean backs. Basically, beginning to activate the hamstrings, the quads, hip flexors. So all you need to be mindful of is to not bend at the waist. So keep the waist as one solid piece. And the other thing to have in mind is to go to the depth that works for you today. So be as gentle or vigorous as you feel inclined to be. On the inhale, we're going to slightly lean back any amount, bending at the knees. And then exhale, come back up. This is our neutral. Inhale, lean back. And then exhale, rise back up. These could be very small if that's feeling best for your body right now. Do that a few more times, inhaling to lean and exhaling to use your strength to bring yourself back to neutral. Couple more times, and if you find that you get yourself to a point where you're like, oh no, I've gone too far, then feel free to place the hips down and get yourself into a safe position. One more time. And then make your way to hands and knees. With your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips as our starting place, either take a few cycles of cat-cow or make any other movements if you feel inclined to head into some organic, free-range, spontaneous movement. Take a few more cycles of breath to do whatever else you want to do or feel compelled to do. Let's meet on hands and knees. Tuck your toes, press into your hands, lift your hips up, and reach your sitting bones back towards the wall behind you and pedal the feet out, so bend the right knee, press the left heel down. And then bend the left knee, press the right heel down. Any of the other movements that help you to get acquainted and oriented to the shape. Let's move through our simple flow just one time. So as you inhale, lower the knees to the mat. Exhale to child's pose, hips to heels. Inhale, forward to tabletop. And then exhale, back to downward dog. Step your feet a little bit closer together and then lift your right leg up and back behind you. Bend the knee and drop the heel back, looking for a stretch along the front of the hip. Keep pressing down firmly and evenly, equally into the two hands. Straighten the right leg out and then float the leg down to the mat. Lift your left leg up. And then bend the knee, drop the heel towards the opposite glute, open the hip. Reach the left leg up and back, and then float it down. Step your feet onto the edges of your mat, bend your knees, and walk your hands in towards your feet. Cascade your spine out from your pelvis, pouring down through the shoulder girdle, the neck, and the back of the head. Roll all the way back up. Roll to standing. Once your head is up, inhale, reach your arms up, lift your gaze. And then exhale, bring your hands together at the heart center. Spread your toes. Root the soles of your feet down into the earth and then sweep your arms up, look up. Exhale, dive forward, knees bent any amount. Bring your hands onto your shins, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold inward. Once more, lift the chest, reach the spine long, expand the lungs wide. And exhale, fold and empty completely. Walk your hands forward. Let's meet in plank pose. So hands more or less under your shoulders, step your feet in towards hip-ish distance. And now whether you choose to keep your knees lifted or place the knees onto the mat, let's lower down for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, splat. Untuck your toes. Inhale, reach the breastbone forward and up into cobra. Exhale, lower down. Keep reaching the legs long. Inhale to cobra. Any height, any placement of the hands. And exhale, float yourself back down. Twice more. Follow your breath. And then down dog. Inhale as you lift your heels and look forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms wide, rise all the way up, maybe a little bend in your knees. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Notice how you feel right now. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the chest, broaden the lungs. Exhale, fold. Step onto your right foot. Take your left foot back behind you and then place the back knee down. Bring your upper body up. And then form two roughly 90-degree angles with the legs. Back toes could be tucked or untucked. Bring your hands to your hips. And then imagine sliding your tailbone forward. Little shift forward with the tailbone, looking for a slight sensation, maybe big sensation of stretch along the left hip flexor. And then to fire this up a little bit more, energetically drag your front foot back and your back knee forward. So it's one of these. So your knee and your foot will stay absolutely stuck in place, but you will notice a bit more action happening in the lower body. So relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, and take some breaths. One more full breath in. And then exhale, release that effort and soften into the low lunge of your choice. So you could opt to stay in the more upright version, which is sliding the tailbone forward, or you could bend more into the front knee and do a bigger shape, dropping the pelvis towards the floor. One more breath in here. And then exhale, hands to the mat, tuck your back toes, lift that back knee, and then bring the back foot in to meet the front foot. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach and rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, circle your arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, fold. Stamp your left foot down. Step your right foot back. Place the back knee down. Come up, find your 2 90-ish degree angles. Hands to your hips to give them something to do, a place to rest and hang out. And then shift your tailbone forward. Let's bring more engagement into the shape. So keep that orientation of the pelvis and the tailbone rocking forward, just kind of sliding forward. And then keep your foot where it is, knee where it is. Energetically draw them towards each other. Draw the front heel back, the back knee forward. So likely we're all doing quite a bit of sitting these days. So my aim in focusing so much on the hip flexor is that they start to get testy when they are short and weak. So we want them to be neutral and strong. Take a breath in, engage a bit more. And then as you exhale, release the effort and then head towards your low lunge that would feel particularly satisfying or helpful today. When the hip flexors, like most muscles, are reminded of their function and strengthened, they are much more amenable to being stretched rather than being weak and then stretched. One more breath in your low lunge. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Tuck the back toes, lift that back knee, and then step back to plank. You can keep the knees up or place them down. We're lowering down for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Untuck your toes. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Dog pose. Inhale, rise onto the balls of your feet. Look past your hands. And then exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms out to the sides, rise all the way up, reach up and look up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And now if you have a block, this would be the time to bring it to the very top of your mat. If you do not have a block, then you could orient yourself so that you have something in front of you that you could reach onto to find your balance. So with the block in front of you, inhale, reach your arms up. And then exhale, bow forward towards your block or other object. Stay here. Make sure that your feet are roughly hip distance apart. Wiggle them around if need be. And now begin to shift more of your weight forward onto the front of your feet. So bearing more weight on the toes and the balls of the feet than on the heels. So you can keep the heels down. They should be able to just float up easily. And with your weight rocked forward, knees unlocked, notice where you find the effort to maintain your balance here. Keep your weight oriented forward and then place one hand onto your hip, the other hand onto your hip, and now slowly, slowly bring yourself back up to standing. The whole time, keep the weight rocked forward. Oh, hurts so good. Take a breath here, upright. And then keep your hands on your hips. We can use the arms here to create a longer lever, which will make the forward bending more challenging. But let's keep, for now, the hands on the hips. Spread your toes, shift your weight forward onto the balls of your feet and the toes, and then fold all the way back down towards your block. Unlock your knees. Once you are folded inward, if you would like to use your block to take a little rest here and kind of go offline, then do that. If you would prefer to stay online and engaged, then you could just keep your hands on your hips, keep that weight shifted forward. And then let's rise up to standing again, weight oriented forward on the feet. Move super slowly. Bring in the breath as it becomes challenging. And then rest when you're all the way back up. Let's fold forward one more time. If you would like to engage with more challenge, then you could reach the arms up overhead as you bend forward If it feels perfectly fine to keep your hands on your hips, then do that. Shift the weight forward on your feet and slowly fold towards your block. If you are folded in more than would create a 90-degree angle with your legs and upper body, bring yourself up so that you're creating something of a 90-degree angle with the legs and the torso. You could either stay here and get plenty of work by just staying engaged, rocking the weight forward. You could take a break also. If you would like to go in the other direction and add more challenge, then you could take your fingertips to the block, maybe hands to prayer, and then keep your right foot planted, lift your left leg out and back behind you into a warrior three with the weight shifted forward on your right foot. And then float the left leg back down. Change sides, step onto your left foot, shift the weight forward onto the foot, and then reach your right leg up and back behind you. Float the right leg back down. And now everybody slowly rise back up to standing, engaging the hamstrings. And then once you're up, give yourself a little shake out, little kick of the legs, shake of the arms. That was a lot of strength and stretch for the back of the legs. Let's bring in a moment of relief. So inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. And now bend your knees, wrap your first two fingers around your big toes and begin to pull on the toes. Bend your elbows out to the sides. And then if and when you become ready, start to straighten the legs, straighten the knees any amount, or keep the knees bent generously. Relax your head, neck, and face, and take a couple more full, smooth breaths. One more full breath in. And then exhale, release your toe hold and step back to down dog. Pedal out into your legs. Notice if they feel different than they did at the beginning of class and to what degree. And then lower your knees down onto the mat and sweep your legs out in front of you. We'll meet in a cross-legged position. Maybe boosting the sitting bones on a folded blanket. And then once you are seated, walk your right fingertips out to the right and inhale, reach your left arm up and over your ear. Take one more full breath in, curl your heart up towards the sky. And then exhale, rise up. Take a breath into the sides of your waist and the sides of your rib cage. Notice any differences side to side. And then flex your feet. Activate the soles of the feet. And then press the blade side edges of your feet down into the mat. You could use your fingertips here to support your upper body, or hands on the knees, anywhere else. Prioritizing strength in the hips now. Press, relax your shoulders, your neck, and your jaw, even your tongue. Press down like you're trying to propel yourself up to the moon. Inhale, press a little bit more. And then exhale, release and fold forward over your legs as much or as little as you would like. Draw a full breath in. And then exhale, bring yourself up. Switch the crossing of your legs. Walk your left fingertips out to the left, and inhale, reach your right arm up and over. Actively reach that arm away from your right hip. Full in-breath as you spiral your chest up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bring yourself up. Press the edges of your feet down into the mat. You might find a little sensation in the outer hips. You might find a lot, but generally I found in my own body that the more strength I'm building in the hips, the more I get sensation from this activity. And when I've taken some time off, I feel a little bit less. Inhale, press down more. And then exhale, release and soften into a forward fold. The depth is completely up to you. Also, sitting upright is a very valid option. One more breath in here. And then exhale, bring yourself up. Unfold the legs, give them a little wiggle out, little shake out. And then scoot your blanket, if you're using it, out from underneath of you. Bend your knees, roll all the way down onto your back. Take a moment to land and feel your weight on the earth. Bend your knees and start with your feet under your knees, and then walk your feet away from you, so now towards the top of your mat. Any amount. Once we get into our bridge pose, you'll be able to evaluate the placement of your feet that you've chosen. Press down into your feet from here and lift your hips up. Your arms can be anywhere. Take some breaths. Take another full breath in, press down into your feet, lift your hips. And then exhale, lower back down, rest. So we did a lot of hamstring strengthening, and then a nice big stretch. We are winding down with more hamstring strengthening to remind them of their function, their ability, their strength, and their resilience. So depending on how that foot placement went for you, maybe you switch it up here, maybe you stay the same. If it was a little bit too ambitious for the back of the legs, then you could walk the feet in closer to your knees. If it wasn't quite enough and you're like, I don't really get what's happening, then you could walk your feet farther away. You'll probably get what's happening. So make the choice for yourself, and then press your feet down, lift your hips up. One more breath in, press down, lift up. And then exhale, float your hips all the way back down. Gather your knees in towards your chest. Drop your knees to the left, open the right arm out to the side. And for our next few moments in the twist, I'm going to leave it up to you whether you would like to engage with a softer breath, or if you would like to continue to bring big old robust breaths in. Take a deep breath in. Hold it in for a moment. And then exhale as you change sides. Knees to the right, left arm the other way. Full in-breath right here. Exhale, bring your knees to center. And then a quick happy baby pose to close. So maybe you hold on to the fronts of the shins and draw the thighs down on either side of your torso. Maybe you reach up for your shins or your ankles, the outer edges of your feet, or hook the first two fingers around your big toes. And draw the thighs down. If this is feeling pinchy or unpleasant in the hip flexors, then turn this into an opportunity for some strengthening by pressing your feet up towards the ceiling as you draw the thighs down towards the floor. If you'd like a last little stretch of the hamstrings, then you could reach one heel out, working the leg towards straight, and then the other, maybe both at the same time. Take a breath in. And then exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. And then let yourself flop out into your final rest. It might feel good to adjust the shape by smoothing the glutes down towards your heels, or maybe tucking the shoulder blades down towards your hips, or bringing in a prop. Invite your bones to get heavier on the earth. Trusting in the unwavering support of our shared home. Invite your muscles to soften, scan through your body. Look for anything that's still holding on, efforting, gripping, and invite it to release its work. Just for right now. Invite your soft tissues and fascia from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head to melt. And even invite your skin big, fabulous organ that covers you. Invite your skin to relax as well. Maybe you can soften your eyes a little more and melt the space between your eyebrows. And then keeping those soft and relaxed, begin to draw some deeper breaths in. Maybe another breath or two to remember to bring back together all of the components, and remember that you function as a whole organism, not as parts. Bring the breath in to gather everything together, and then draw your knees towards your chest and roll onto your side. And gently guide your whole organism into a seat. Notice the weight of your pelvis. Create a little lift through your spine, reaching the tips of your ears up towards the sky. And then bring the hands together at your heart. Notice one hand. Notice the other hand, and then notice the place where the two hands meet, and rub them together. Place one hand on your heart and the other hand on your belly. And offer yourself a gesture of appreciation. Thank you.